When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the podcast that wanted to like the new Doctor Who, but found her to be untenable.
Oh, no. Oh, Kyle. Oh, God.
That was the best reaction I could hope for.
Oh, shit. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And that might be my favorite opener of all 186 episodes now.
Then why did you sound so disappointed in me?
I was disappointed in the first 187 of them, or whatever.
Okay. Great. Today
we're going to talk about swingers.
Swingers. This is a request from Patreon member Kelsey Pabst. So thank you for asking for this. You asked for it, and you get it.
Yeah.
But first,
the news. So you already got a sneak preview of this one, but
yes,
a 19-year-old trans man has won the right for all Florida students to use the correct bathroom after a landmark 3-year legal battle. Drew Adams, as a high school student, was told that he couldn't pee where he wanted to pee by his school because he is trans, and he started fighting it, and it took a long-ass time, but he won.
That's awesome.
In Florida.
I can barely tell someone to stop talking because I have a meeting to go to. I can't fathom the what it would take to actually follow through with this, and that's incredible.
Yep. He said, quote, "I am very happy to see justice prevail after spending almost my entire high school career fighting for equal treatment. High school is hard enough without having your school separate you from your peers and mark you as inferior. I hope this decision helps save other transgender students from having to go through that painful and humiliating experience." Lambda Legal was, helping out with Adam's case. It was the country's first trial involving a transgender student's access to restrooms. The U.S. Circuit Court Judge Beverly Martin cited June's Supreme Court ruling on Title VII for federal discrimination protections applying to sexuality and gender identity as the basis for her ruling.
Oh, wow. That's huge that it is actually using that to apply it to trans and gay cases outside of the employment shit.
Yep. Quote, "A public school may not punish its students for gender nonconformity," Martin wrote. "Neither may a public school harm transgender students by establishing arbitrary separate rules for their restroom use. The evidence at trial confirms that Mr. Adams suffered both these indignities." Great.
Cool.
Because it's a circuit court, it only applies to that circuit. I assume it will be appealed to the Supreme Court, but and until then, it won't become the law of the land like all of the United States. But it is very unlikely that this is going to be the only case that covers this particular area of the law, and I'm reasonably certain that they will go the same way. So we'll see.
Yeah. One small step for trans kind, one giant leap for trans kind.
Yep.
Great.
Good job. Good work.
Thanks. Can I just go back to my Doctor Who joke?
Yeah.
And just stay there.
God, yes. That like it's all downhill from here, Kyle. We peaked. You did it.
Okay. I'll just be quiet the rest of the time. Cool.
Moving on. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We absolutely have to talk about. Oh, stop drinking your water, coffee, or whatever that is. I just. Tell me that you have paid attention to the e-bussy.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. I can't fathom, it's one of those things that you're like, who photoshopped this, or the Onion has gotten really lazy recently, or it's just mind-boggling.
So it's because it's a German company, and bussy is not a thing in German, apparently, or at least not nearly as prevalent as it is in English among gay dudes talking about boy pussies. I fucking hate it so much.
Same.
The e-bussy is a electric vehicle designed by German company Electrid Brands. It's actually pretty cool. Like the basic form factor of this vehicle can be a off-road flatbed truck, a bus, a dump truck, a universal transporter, a single cab pickup, a camper, a suitcase van, a combi pickup, or an open cabrio pickup. Like it's like Legos. You can just like plop all different kinds of shit onto your e-bussy.
Okay, this turned way less exciting than it started.
Yeah,
sounds like we're talking
so
construction and transportation.
So then okay, Pink News,
great,
where I get a lot of the gay shit that I read on here, is a gay journalism outlet, and the writing on this, here we go. Says, quote, "Oh, reader, how we wish we were kidding. Electrid Brands revealed a prototype for the vehicle on Tuesday, the 28th of July. Here's where it gets great. It's an electric vehicle that can take on 10 different body types. The e-bussy is flexible. You can ride the e-bussy for hours with its 10 kilowatt battery pack. And with its rounded doors, anyone of any size can enter the e-bussy with ease." True versatility from the e-bussy. It's just, oh my God. Like, hire any gay people to tell you what not to name your car.
There's so many marketing examples. There's like, you just need to ask one gay person if this is okay.
Yep.
And you keep saying bussy, but is it bussy?
What is
the correct pronunciation?
I hate bussy so much. I want to say bussy because I think that's what they were going for, because it's like a Volkswagen bus. But
okay.
It's probably bussy. Bussy. I hate it. Oh God, I hate it so much. Kyle, make it stop.
But is that? I actually really don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Merriam-Webster hasn't gotten their shit together to add it to the dictionary yet.
Does Urban Dictionary have a pronunciation guide? Bussy. Bussy is what Urban Dictionary says. Slang term for a gay man's butthole. A butt pussy. Oh no.
Yeah.
A truly cursed portmanteau of boy and pussy. Bussy has, according to Urban Dictionary, been used for at least 15 years by gay men to describe their manhole of love.
Oh, I would rather bussy than manhole of love.
And LGBT plus Twitter users also were quick to point out that the e-bussy was trending on Twitter at the same time as demon sperm. So
that's the gay agenda.
It was a big week for Twitter. Yeah.
And with that, we've said bussy the most number of times we're allowed to on any podcast before you get taken down.
Bussy?
Oh.
Fucking,
bussy.
Oh my God, Kyle. Somebody threatened to turn in their 100 words from Patreon and make me say the word smegma 100 times in a row.
I mean, I could just edit that one time and just make it go over and over. Smegma. Yeah. And then do some remix. Smegma.
Thanks, Kyle.
Is that the news theme song?
Yeah. News the last but not least.
Yeah.
So gay mayor Alex Morse has issued an apology after he was accused of abusing his position of power to initiate sexual relationships with college students. So Alex Morse, he's running actually for Congress in Massachusetts. And he's been accused by 3 college groups of pursuing relationships with students while in a position of authority. The College Democrats of Massachusetts, UMass Amherst Democrats, and Amherst College Democrats said Morse was, quote, no longer welcome at their events, and claimed that there had been numerous incidents over the course of several years. So he is claiming that this is ageism, which I think is interesting. He Quote, to the many members of the queer community that have reached out to me in recent days, this is him, Morse, speaking. To the many members of the queer community that have reached out to me in recent days, it's clear that many of you feel that these recent events and the language used in response aren't just an attack on me, but on all of us. You're genuinely outraged, as am I, by the invocation of age-old anti-gay stereotypes. So when I thought it was just the problem is not only is he the mayor of this town, he also is a lecturer at the college and is trying to claim that because they were consensual relationships with adults, there is no impropriety.
Does it go into detail about what kind of, like, what he did?
Apparently, so in the case of the college Democrat groups, they said, quote, we have heard countless stories of Morse adding students to his close friends story on Instagram and then direct messaging members of college Democrats on Instagram in a way that makes these students feel pressured to respond due to his status. Even if these scenarios are mutually consensual, the pattern of Morse using his platform and taking advantage of his position of power for romantic or sexual gain, specifically toward young students, is unacceptable. And then Morse says, quote, I have never violated UMass policy. Any claim to the contrary is false. As I've acknowledged, I have had consensual relationships with other men, including students enrolled at local universities that I have met using dating apps. And so dating apps and DMing people on Instagram, apparently. What do you think? What's your hot take?
Well, I mean, my initial feeling is like, it probably looks the same. Like, I do shit where later I'm like, God, I should not have sent that message to that guy I kind of know that said, I want you to fuck me till I cry. There are things I'm sure I do that someone could be like, hey, look at this DM. Like, this is real shitty. And I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right. So I'm also not a college professor or a mayor or have any power in any way. So I know that that's a big part of that here. Yeah, I like the part that skews me out more is just that he's like a professor or lecturer and has clearly messaged or hooked up or whatever with college kids.
So one aspect that I'm super interested in is the fact that he thinks this is age discrimination. He is 31 years old. And there is an age gap between a college student and a 31-year-old. But when you think mayor/professor, you think somebody my age or older, I would think.
Yeah.
Not somebody younger than you.
Yeah.
And
man, has he done more with his life than I have? And he's younger than me?
Yeah.
I haven't had any sexual assault allegations so far. Damn it.
Get with it, Kyle. Also, and there's this whole thing about if you're hot, you get away with whatever you want to. He's real hot. It gets the Letchwater going. I'm like, damn.
I actually,
hey, Kyle.
What? Hey, Mike.
That's the Polari word of the week.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Oh, the internet might have dropped that
move
too.
On.
I said he gets.
That's what I'm going to blame it on.
I said he gets the Letchwater flowing. Letchwater is
no, I did hear that and I just ignored it. Okay, right.
Yep, the Polari word of the week is Letchwater, which is pre-cum.
Why? Okay, sure.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Where does that come from? Do we know where Lech is from?
Nope, it just says Letchwater, noun.
Some
pre-cum.
Canadian's going to call in again and be like, well,
I hope so.
The other thing is, though, in Spanish.
Oh, okay. That I think you might be onto something.
Milk water?
That might be it. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to call cum from now on.
Because pre-cum is kind of water. It's mostly clear, but it's anyway.
Describe in detail what pre-cum looks like, Mike.
Well, and then I also think that this is one of the first ones where that's not something I wouldn't want to say in public anyway. Yes, let's have a code word for that. Most of them are feet and guy and dude. Great. Why do we need code words for that? This one, you don't want to say pre-cum when you're at brunch, you know?
But also, this might be one where if you say ledge water, someone might like that might sound worse than just saying pre-cum.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think it sounds nasty.
Um,
Wait, say the sentence again that you said to lead into this. Now I want to know how you got us here.
This 31-year-old mayor is hot. He really gets the ledge water flowing.
That makes that sentence all the it gets the ledge water flowing. That's disgusting.
Tell me, look at his picture and tell me you wouldn't jizz on his face.
Okay, hold on. What's his name?
Alex Morse. All right.
I prefer. I'm just reading here. Morse says.
Yeah. Oh God, that's the news, Kyle.
That's the news. Great. Well, I want to thank our Patreon supporters, but only these ones specifically. I want to thank Randy Raphael. Ooh, that's cool alliteration. Tammy Kunkler. Andrew.
Wait, was that Kunkler?
Kunkler.
Okay.
Like if your uncle's a cunt. Kunkler. Andrew, which is just Andrew, which I always love a mononym. David Lacho, which I hope is not David Lacho Water. Oh, no. And David Cofford. So if you want some real good bonus things, go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast.
Yeah. We just had our quarterly Patreon happy hour and it was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was the first one where people started taking their shirts off, which wasn't necessary, but
not a requirement if you're joining after several hours of good conversation and discussion.
Yes, true story. Do you want to talk about swinging?
Yeah, let's talk about swinging.
Swinging.
Swingers, swinging.
Would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar. No, you don't know that song? I thought that's what this episode was about.
Swing from the table side. Who are you singing? Are you singing something from like the 70s?
At least the 70s, Kyle.
Great. Our like what songs we go to with words is very disparate. And I think I like it. Okay.
Mine was
was
Sinatra, by the way. It's from the 40s, which is basically the 70s to you. So
I can't distinguish anything from before the 80s. Like it's all just like one kind of thing. Okay, swingers. Thank you, Kelsey, for requesting this. And this, I think, is a really interesting topic.
Yeah.
Unlike our other episodes, this one is interesting.
Yeah, those other ones, those Patreon people chose, garbage.
Yeah.
But here we go.
You.
This one's great.
Well, I think I feel like I might be stealing one of your things. Like you asked this best when you said, like, are there gay swingers?
Are there gay swingers?
And I don't think I found the answer.
Okay. I sort of did a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think first, me being me, we should define swingers, right?
Oh, sure. Wait, can I then talk about various forms of non-monogamous relationships so we can put this in the context of others?
Sure. Let's do that.
That was less of a question and more of a statement that just went up at the end. Okay. So when I like your question actually really got me thinking of like, okay, what's the difference between that? What are the, like, that sounds like an open relationship, but is it the same as, so there was an article, Kelsey actually sent me a few articles, which thank you. One of them defined 7 different types of consensual non-monogamous relationships. So it sucks that you always have to put the word like ethical non-monogamy or consensual or whatever to be like, not the cheating. Like, that sucks that that's always the assumption with any kind of open relationship.
Something else that's been sort of getting me reading up on this stuff is it often gets called the lifestyle or the alternative lifestyle or the swinging lifestyle. And given how many conservative fuckface asshole dickbags call being gay a lifestyle, that word is such a trigger word that apparently this community embraces it, but and each other all the time in different combinations.
It's different places. And okay, yeah. So the 7 different kinds of consensual non-monogamous relationships. Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful. Just like swingers.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Okay. Swinging is one. There's polygamy.
Mm-hmm.
There's polyamory, which of course those are different. There are open relationships, monogamish relationships, and my new favorite one, which is relationship anarchy. So I know we're talking about swinging, but we're going to take a brief Sigourney Weaver off to this topic. Relationship anarchy is, I kind of like this idea. It's like there should not be any hierarchies in any kind of relationship. So it tries to eliminate the distinction between friends and your partner, like the person you're in love with. Like it's like those two, like we always say that your partner, that your, husband or your whatever, that's more important than your friendships. And it's trying to say like, no, they're all just different degrees of relationships. And they also don't believe in any kind of rules. Like a lot of these, swinging is definitely one of them that has a lot of rules about what is agreed upon, what you can and can't do. And they even have terms about them. And this says you should not have any kind of rules that govern the relationship, because invariably that will lead to a hierarchical kind of difference between different relationships you have.
Okay. It sounds like bonobo life.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that is the more formal name. It's bonobo anarchy. Yep.
Just bonobo whoever you want to.
Exactly. And then just not like a super formal study. There's like, I was trying to figure out, okay, like of these, then how common are they? And of course, studies say different things. First of all, about 20% of people have in their life have engaged in some kind of consensual non-monogamy at some point in their life. So that's kind of the big picture there. And studies found it was like more than 20%, but a couple different studies, 20% is a safe number, which that's a fuck ton. I forget if we talked about that on the open relationships episode, but if we did, I forgot. And so that still surprises me.
Great.
And then, so in terms of like the actual number of swingers, it's like one of those like big ranges. So it says 2 to 10%. Like I saw different numbers in a variety of different things. So 2% probably a safe bet, but you're squinting.
I just don't like, how bad do you have to be at your job to have like that big of a range be the answer?
Well, I mean, I think
it's like a weatherman saying it's going to be somewhere between absolute zero and boiling tomorrow. Enjoy, everyone. Like,
okay, well, weather people take swings and then they're wrong. So like, I'd rather them give the range if they don't know. I think people, especially in things like this, don't want to admit it, or like, where do you find swingers? where do you get swingers? How do you get swingers? People just like to lie about shit or don't, I don't know.
Okay.
You're right. That is a big range.
No,
that's the best.
But somewhere in there, like 2 to 10%.
Yeah.
Did they study gay people?
No. I know I didn't come across anything that was specifically about gay swingers. Like a lot of things I read really specifically talked about male female coupling, and even one. It's hard to like. There's some articles that seem to have a judgmental attitude, but if it's written by a swinger, then I want their like opinion, their take. And if it's written by an outsider, then it's shitty. Like I saw someone say like most women that are swingers are bisexual and most men are heterosexual. It's like, well, are you just assuming that based on gender assumptions, or is that what you've observed being in the swinger community? Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I would expect swinger communities, at least some of them, to be good outlets for bisexuals, like of any gender, right? Like there's a certain amount of openness in all of that, but I guess how would that work? I don't know. So reading through like the history of swinging, and specifically the word swinging and swingers, in a lot of stuff, it's quite problematically called wife swapping. And the implication being that this is only for married couples and the wife is the object that is owned, that is being swapped. And
yeah,
I mean, like Dom sub type scenes that might be into that narrative notwithstanding, I think it's sort of problematic from a sexual ethics standpoint to call it that.
How much of that though is like because this is how it started?
Yeah. And I think that there's something to that. I mean, like later versions call it partner swapping, which is, you know, more gender inclusive. So a lot of people say swinging, at least the broad umbrella that you just painted for us, really came out of the sexual revolution of the 1960s, that it was the pill, that having access to birth control pills, therefore eliminating accidental pregnancy, well, not eliminating, but virtually eliminating accidental pregnancy as a result of these couplings with people that aren't your spouse. That's when people really started getting busy in this zone. And then there was a big ripple through the community in the early to mid 80s because of HIV. And so a lot more safe sex practices became part of what was happening, which I guess means that before that, swingers were barebacking all the time. I don't know.
That's interesting. I like, you always very specifically think about the AIDS crisis as affecting gay men. Like that's it. Like I have not thought about other groups that maybe were impacted by that or changed course because of that.
Well, a couple of places to that point, a couple of places said that the adding of safe sex practices in swinging communities really happened later in the 80s. And even some didn't adopt it until the early 90s because it sort of took that long for HIV to be recognized culturally as something that wasn't just a gay man's disease. But yeah, whether it happened super early or later on in the development of that pandemic, the HIV/AIDS epidemic or pandemic, what the fuck? Anyway, had an impact on swinging communities too, and they started wrapping it up. So I feel like, were you done? I feel like I just started talking.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Keep going. The reason is because we had such a smooth, casual segue from one into the other and we're not used to that. So it was strikingly not striking.
Well, speaking of smooth, casual segue, apparently soldiers dying is one of the reasons that all of this started happening. At least that's one of the rumors, and I don't believe it. I'm going to read this like origin story, and then I'm going to tell you why I think it's bullshit, and then you're going to tell me what you think.
Okay.
Here we go. So Terry Gould is an author. He wrote a book called The Lifestyle.
Already fake. Terry Gould doesn't exist. That's a fake name.
Yeah, I agree. Terry Gould wrote a book called The Lifestyle, a look at the erotic rights of swingers. And in that book, Terry says, swinging began among American Air Force pilots and their wives during World War II, before pilots left for overseas duty. The mortality rates of pilots was so high that a close bond arose between pilot families that implied that pilot husbands would care for all the wives as their own, emotionally and sexually, if the husbands were lost at war. The narrative there is, okay, so a bunch of pilots haven't gone to war yet, but they're about to, and they're real afraid that they're going to die. So they sit down and they say, yo, dude, if I die over there, I want you to fuck my wife. And then he said, okay, how about, why do I have to wait until you're dead, bro? How about I fuck her now? Like, I don't, what is, I don't understand.
And then the music came on in the background and the lights dimmed. No, you don't say it like that. You shake hands and say, oh, so here's how it happens in my head. You know, I'm going off soon. If I don't come back, and then he like shakes hands and puts his other hand on his shoulder and says, you take good care of her. And you know he means vaginally.
Take real good care of her.
Take good care of her bussy. Oh, wait. No, she doesn't have that.
Oh, God. No, please don't.
Her female bussy.
Oh, God. So here's my number one problem with this scenario. Wives did not go with their, and not wives, doesn't matter. Soldiers did not have the benefit, regardless of gender, did not have the benefit of their spouses accompanying them, their families accompanying them to where they were being shipped out to until well after World War II. Like the World War II model was mostly male soldiers, right? But so that's why the pronouns, I'm going to say he, there were very few female members of the military. They existed, but it's easier to just like say it. The World War II, the World War II model was he left to go to war and she stayed behind with the kids and made do. And I don't understand how, like, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't believe it.
I mean, I could see like your husband's gone and like while I'm gone, like, you know, do what you need to do.
Yeah, but
by the way, making do is my new favorite euphemism for sex.
Yeah. That makes sense to you? Like you believe that as an origin story?
Why did I already have in my head that swinging came from like something about the military or army? I don't know why that was already. Maybe it's just like the era that I'm thinking of, or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, so American swinging was practiced in some American military communities in the 1950s. By the time the Korean War ended, swinging had spread from the military to the suburbs, and that's when the media caught on and started calling it wife swapping. Then the 1960s, which one etymological dictionary that I follow says that one origin of the word swinger, meaning, quote, person who is sexually promiscuous, is attributed from 1964. And that's free love movement, right? Like that's what we were saying earlier. That's when birth control enters the scene. That's when the sexual revolution really gets started. Female empowerment and ownership of their sexuality really has a lot of momentum at that stage. And that's I think that's all I have to say about that. I mean, the internet was a game changer too. That comes a lot later in the scene, but it was easier to find other couples that were interested in making arrangements, and it was easier to organize. And you didn't have to have like swingers clubs that were in underground basements with passwords and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also sort of expected to research this and have it say that like it started in ancient Rome or something. But apparently, swingers, at least the way that we conceive of it now, is a very modern take on marriage and extramarital sex.
But I mean, doesn't a lot of I feel like so many things like swingers are predicated on a marriage, like the assumption that it has to be one, let's be honest, a man and a woman. So like, I don't think they would have had them back in the day because they didn't have that concept of a monogamous opposite gender marriage.
Yeah. Because women were property until they were started to be treated like they weren't in Western society in the post-industrial revolution.
Yeah.
My brain's real tired, Kyle.
That's okay. Now you can sit back and listen while I tell you some of the definitions. I think actually like learning about some of the definitions of in the swinging community kind of helps understand some of the pieces of it that you wouldn't have known. So these are definitions from the website swingfields.co.uk, which is a event, I guess, a swinging event for a weekend that, if you go to their website, has music that plays in the background like we're in the 90s.
Great.
It's intense too. It's like dun, 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 dun. It's like you have arrived to swinging. So the first definition was the lifestyle, which I already mentioned. And part of it, though, the lifestyle is because it's more encompassing than just the act of swinging. Like it seems like part of this is that it's a community. Like part of this seems like it's not just about the sex. Almost like gay people. It's like, well, yes, technically it's based on who you have sex with, but there's more that happens in this community that is beyond the sex part. And so swinging seems like it has this bigger community that's about more than just sex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. There is full swap, which is where you can swap partners and it includes intercourse.
Oh.
And then there's
why do you make it sound like it's a menu?
Well,
for an appetizer, we have a little bit of light beige, followed by the main course, which is full swap.
And a moose bush. I think, I mean, like everyone has like these definitions that help understand like tops and bottoms and verse. Like that's, we all define things to give these definitions to make things easier to like figure out what the other person's into.
Okay. I guess I want to know what non-full swap is.
Well, Mike, there is soft swap, which is...
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Man, some nights I have a soft swap and you're like, what's wrong with me? That is when couples exchange partners but don't have intercourse, so limited to swapping orally and or heavy petting.
Okay. Sign me up for that, actually.
I hate, maybe more than bussy, I hate heavy petting as a description for sex.
Yeah, that's true.
It just feels weird. It's like, we're not like petting a cat here.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. There is same room, which could be either a full swap in the physical same room or two partners having sex with their own partner, like two couples having sex with their own partner, but and watching each other.
Mm-hmm.
I just picked my favorites out of this list. There was a bigger list. Some of them were like bareback. Like, I got that. Don't worry. I know what that means. Mm-hmm. There is hot wife, which a wife that sets up casual dates with other men. Typically, she or her date will take photos and send them to the interested couple's husband.
Okay.
I can't tell if you're excited or confused.
No, I guess I'm confused. So like,
okay.
So this husband and wife A take pictures of her and send those pictures to the husband and wife B to like, no. Okay. See then I didn't get it.
Okay. Donna is a powerful, confident woman in her 20s.
Okay.
I'm going to set up a whole scenario. No.
Great.
So Donna's married to some dude. He doesn't need a name. And then she goes out on a date with another dude or hooks up with another dude. They take pictures and send it to Donna's husband to be like, look, it's like...
That's a cucking situation, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. A virtual cuck.
Great. Okay.
There are newbies, which new people to the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I saw often is vanilla, like the term vanilla sex or vanilla relationships. And I only included it because I think swingers tend to like use that a lot. And the examples were vanilla club or vanilla friends or vanilla party. Like it's like, hey, do you want to go to a party? It's like, oh, no. But it's a vanilla party. Like we're not hooking up with anyone there.
Okay. Got it.
There is group sex. Again, we know what this is, but I like the definition. What most vanilla people think swingers do every Saturday night. Mm-hmm. However, it is a rare occurrence. Swinging typically consists of 2 or 3 couples. Remember, if you, in this little tidbit, remember, if you come upon a group situation, you still must ask permission to join. Good call.
Yeah, that's true.
There is off-premise, on-premise. Like those are 2 different options. So like off-premise could be like we all get together at this place, but then we go hook up off-premise. It's just the meeting grounds. They defined the word site. If someone asks what site you are on, they are referring to a swinger social site. Mm-hmm. Thanks for that one. Maybe this is targeted. Like who are these definitions targeted at? Because I don't know what young person needs the definition of site. And then swinger nickname, which is they maybe a nickname or an alternate name that you may use to protect your real identity.
Mm-hmm.
So that part of the reason I wanted to say that is like, that's interesting that some people may not, I mean, I think that's part of this is like, may not feel comfortable sharing this with people and don't want people to know, even if they're on a site, may not want other people, the vanillas, to know about it. And so want to kind of keep it DL.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine the scandal if like Coach Thompson of the middle school football team was found out to be a swinger? Like that would probably like, because people are so sex averse and puritanical horse shit, they would flip the fuck out. Like, you can't teach my son how to tackle. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
What does that have to do with anything? But you still have to protect your identity because of shitbags.
Yeah. Which that's, I feel like I always say, you know, you break one cultural norm, like being gay, then you don't have to worry about the rest. And this is like, well, if you're in a, you know, same sex marriage, then you haven't yet broken that one taboo. So the idea of being a swinger would be shocking to some people. And they think you're so quote unquote, quote, normal that, you know, to find you do anything sexy is surprising. Yeah, totally.
Interesting, Kyle.
Yeah.
So are there gay swingers?
Maybe. I think it, okay. I didn't, like I said, I didn't find anything on this, but in my heart, I feel like there are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So a very common form of swinger party is a key party. You familiar with the key party? For anybody who's not familiar with the key party, the idea is, again, heteronormatively, it's heterosexual couples show up and the dudes all put their car or house keys into a bowl and you mix them up, and then all of the ladies draw out a pair of keys, and that's who they're going to bang or go home with or whatever. That's a key party. And
that, when I like first heard about that, like that idea is so hot to me. Like I just love that. I'm really into that.
Okay, but in any group of 12 people, how many of them do you want to bang, and how many of them do you absolutely not want to bang, and then have that be like you possibly get the person you're least into?
Well, you don't invite everyone. You just invite your hot friends. And Mike, my standards, I'll probably fuck most of them.
Great. So I think, I mean, a gay key party could be a thing, right? Like you could either divide it into tops and bottoms if you wanted to, or like the verse guys, you could say, which one are you feeling more tonight? And then like have all the bottoms throw their keys in and have all of the tops draw keys. That could work, right? I bet that's been done before. There's
a porn with where they do like a key party. And so that if there's a porn about it, it has to be a real thing. And this is when I'm said, like, I think I would assume they're gay swingers. This is part of the, like, when we think about the lifestyle, like that idea of like, it's a little bit more than just the act of having sex with someone that's not your husband. It seems like it's kind of like a bigger social kind of arrangement, or, you know, there seem to be other things about it that are beyond just the sex. And that's where I think you could be gay and be a swinger, but it looked very different than just an open relationship.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well,
you wouldn't do a key party?
I mean, I barely hook up at all, much less with like a totally anonymous stranger. I don't think I could do it. I just don't think I could. And part of it would genuinely be like a shallow, superficial fear that like line up all of the dudes, and I like fate would select the one I was least into as the result of this exercise. In a world where you got together a group of dudes and I'd be down to bang any of them, I could see that being hot. That could be fun. But I'm not sure. Like, I don't see myself being able to get myself into that situation, much less than enjoy it. I don't know how these things happen. Like, how do there are swinger sites apparently. At least for straight couples, we know that that's a thing. I don't know if there's a gay equivalent. we should maybe.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did we look up if there are gay swinger sites?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Great.
so there is the app Field, which I have been on, mostly exploratory for when we did our episode on apps, however many million episodes ago. And I would hop on there from time to time, and there's a lot of gay couples looking for a third that advertise on that. It's not exactly a hey, we're going to have a key party kind of a thing, but you know, it's closer.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm just so into the idea of a key party. I can't stop. Okay, no, I can
we'll throw one
past that. I think you have to.
All of our listeners on Discord are trying to put together some sort of sex event. Maybe you could pitch that idea.
Nope. See, but I really think if I was going to do this, I'd just have a giant group sex party. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This is why I think in my relationship, my next relationship should be with someone who's like way better at doing this kind of shit, like doing the sexy hookup thing. Cause I'm like, yeah, I'd be really into that. And then I'm like little timid mouse when it gets to real life.
Need more aggressiveness.
Wife swapped.
Do you now? Are you sure?
Yeah. 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 I'm very, very sure.
Okay. The last thing that I have is some problematic proof that there is at least one bisexual swinger.
Okay.
So I found an article that is celebrities who are swingers or allegedly swingers. And so there's quite a few. First on this list is Thomas Middleditch. He is the dude from he was in Silicon Valley. He's the head dork on Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Anyway, in an interview with Playboy, he said that he and his wife, Molly Gates, are swingers. And in that article, he said, quote, "Only after I got married, I was like, Molly, I'm sorry, but we have to get non-traditional here." To her credit, instead of saying, "Fuck you, I'm out," she was like, "Let's figure this out." And he said, adding, "To be honest, swinging has saved our marriage."
This is something I didn't say, but because it seems so like one-sided in favor of swinging, but it was on like some sex coach's website. So I was like, but it said, well, first of all, this I think is true, is that men are tend to be more interested in having some kind of consensual non-monogamous relationship. I think it was like 18% or something of men want that versus a smaller percent, 7, 8, 9% or something of women. So men are more likely to want it, but it also gave statistics of like, they were 80% happier than monogamous couples or something.
Wow.
But so I don't know if that's true, but what I do see is like you're talking about, like that dude, Tom Middledick being like, "Hey, I really like, I want to do this or I'm unhappy with this. And with this current setup, it's like when you and your partner, as close as you are never going to have the exact same sexual interests or level of desire or like, and if they're that far off, then why try to force, like you're just never going to be 100% into the exact same things. So why try to force yourselves to be?
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And compromise makes the world go round. Or it could.
We put the come and compromise.
So okay, this is problematic. I think this whole article is problematic. But the next on the list is Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton's former mistress Jennifer Flowers claimed that Bill Clinton is a swinger and his wife Hillary Clinton is a lesbian. And I just think, first of all, this just has swingers are dirty, and like that's just a way to sling mud that's really unfortunate because it builds on a sort of seedy or dirty reputation for swingers that they definitely don't deserve. And the whole, I don't know, the Bill Clinton as philanderer and like, why would Hillary put up with that? The only reason she would is because she's a lesbian and doesn't like the dick anyway. And like that whole narrative is just awful.
And like like prescribing cheating, like people assuming that cheating is the same as being a swinger is like so far from the truth, because like swingers, like exactly the opposite. It's let's talk and agree on things ahead of time.
Yep. Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green are rumored to have an agreement in which they are allowed to sleep with other people.
I don't know who Brian Austin Green is. Megan Fox might turn me by.
Okay, great. Brian Austin Green, he was from 90210, I think. Yeah. Anyway.
I was more the Dawson's Creek era.
Angelina Jolie is rumored to be a swinger, hinted that she and her ex-husband Brad Pitt were in an open relationship. Quote, "I doubt that fidelity is absolutely essential for a relationship," she said in an interview. "It's worse to leave your partner and talk badly about him afterward. Neither Brad nor I have ever claimed that living together means be chained together. We make sure that we never restrict each other."
Unless it's your throat.
Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore were rumored to have been swingers when they were married. They allegedly participated in several threesomes. Justin Timberlake allegedly had an agreement with his wife Jessica Biel that allowed him to sleep with other women. That's worded oddly. Was she not?
Yeah. Well, these just seem like any popular couple, like rich popular couples seem to say that.
Yeah. Jada Pinkett Smith's husband, Will Smith, has said the couple is open to sleeping with other people. Rachel Ray, a source told the National Enquirer, well, here we go, that Rachel Ray and her husband, John Cusamo, have an open relationship. According to the report, he is allegedly a regular at the exclusive New York City swingers club Checkmate and was spotted there several times since his marriage to Ray. However, her publicist has disputed those claims. Julia Louis-Dreyfus and her husband Brad Hall are rumored to be in an open marriage. Monique is in an open relationship with her husband Sydney Hicks.
Wait, the way you said that sounds, is that confirmed?
Quote, "When you're with your best friend and you say to your best friend, I'm having these feelings about this person sexually and I want to share it with you. When you're best friends, you can have those open and honest conversations. What is it about that person that you find that you want to sleep with? Because they may give you something that I'm simply not willing to do. And if that's the case, how can I be mad? Because I'm not going to do it. Should I deprive you of not having it?" That's when the relationship is real.
It seems like a lot of these, a lot of people, like the ones that have said something about it that you're telling me, are people that are like kind of have to dance around. Like they can't just come out and say it. It's like, it's so taboo that they have to like start out by reminding people like relationships are challenging things that you work on together. So that like they're justifying themselves before they even say anything about it, which,
and speaking euphemistically, I think is why I'm inclined to believe it. Right. Like, of course, if you're at that level of celebrity, you probably can't. Your career wouldn't allow you to be openly swinging. And
Rachel Ray's image, like that she presents, is just so different than that idea. Which is almost like that would be so cool if it was true and talked about it, to be like. I think that's the whole point of like why people have to stay underground. Like, oh, you just look like a wholesome housewife that, you know, and you can be and still do stuff.
Pink, and I love her. Pink and her husband, Carey Hart, reportedly tried out an open marriage. While discussing struggles with her marriage, the singer told The Guardian that, quote, "monogamy is work." George Clooney reportedly used to be a swinger before he married Amal Alamuddin. Tilda Swinton. This is actually more of an unconventional arrangement than a swinging relationship, but for several years, Tilda Swinton lived with both the father of her children and her boyfriend.
Oh, that's fun. You don't see many examples of like, you see like polygamy where it's the dude with a lot of wives. You don't often see the woman with a bunch of dudes. So I like that.
Plus, Tilda's fucking badass at everything. So, John F. Kennedy supposedly said, quote, "If I don't have sex every day, I get a headache." In order to keep up with his sexual desires, Kennedy reportedly slept with dozens of women while he was married.
And then he got the biggest headache of all.
Yeah. Too soon? Nope, it's not. So Henry Kissinger, former Secretary of State, was rumored to be a secret swinger. Shirley MacLaine said she was a swinger in her younger years and once had 3 different lovers in one day. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and his wife Eleanor reportedly allowed each other to have romantic relationships outside of their marriage. famously, Eleanor perhaps was a lesbian. That's one thing that has been rumored. Corey Feldman isn't just a swinger. He also hosts orgies.
And talks about it, seems like.
And talks about it. And finally, this leads to our smoking gun, Alan Cumming. Alan Cumming said, Alan Cumming is a he's Scottish American, comedian, singer, writer, filmmaker. Do you know who he is? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't he just kind of like generic skinny brown face?
Yeah.
Brown hair.
His best known film roles include his performances in Emma, GoldenEye, the Spy Kids trilogy, Son of the Mask, and X2, the X-Men movies.
I'm looking him up. Oh, yeah. That's okay. That's who I can't tell the difference between him, David Tennant, Alan Rickman. Like, there's so many of these people that I'm just like, aren't there different people? I don't know.
Wait, is that racist? I can't decide. They all look alike to you? Like
they all look
white
alike
people.
To me. White people, am I right?
But he is very active in LGBT rights and is bisexual. He's currently married to a man, Grant Schaefer, but he had previously an 8-year marriage to actress Hilary Lyon, a 2-year relationship with actress Saffron Burrows, a 6-year relationship with theater director Nick Philippou. Like, if anybody ever says that bisexual people aren't real, he is, because not only does he say he is, but he's been fucking doing it very publicly. Anyway, so he said in this article, he said that he actually lost his virginity during a swinger experience at a sleepover with another couple. He said that he had his first sexual experience when he was 16. And he said, quote, "I was going out with this girl who had very pale skin and long red hair. She looked like that picture of Ophelia drowning. There was this other girl with olive skin and curly hair and was older and very sexually active. Me and this other girl flirted a little bit in front of her boyfriend, who was also called Alan. And we had a sleepover. Me and Ophelia and Alan and the olive skin girl. We played strip poker like you do when you're 16. I went upstairs with Alan's girlfriend and he stayed downstairs with Ophelia. They just sat there playing cards or something. We were upstairs going at it like rabbits. This was in a suburban little Scottish town. It's kind of pretentious that I would lose my virginity in a kind of wife swapping situation." By swingers,
beautiful.
man.
That's a beautiful story. That's so interesting. Yeah, that's where, like, that is different. That feels very different than an open relationship. Like, when we're trying to like put a finger on like the difference, like that seems like a very specific scenario involving like doing swapsies that feels very swinger-esque.
Yeah.
Spell Alan Cumming.
Okay. Last segment, and then we'll go to break, maybe.
Okay.
Let's assume gay swinging is a thing.
Yeah.
Do you think in your next relationship that is an activity you would be able and willing to participate in?
Yeah, I think I've, in my mind, I haven't, like, before almost researching this, have not like thought of swinging as even an option, because you're right, I just don't put it in the gay relationship universe. But knowing a little bit more about it, yeah, I definitely think I could. I think that my next relationship, I want it to be some kind of open-ish, like to some degree, relationship. And what it seems like swinging provides some kind of like foundation or structure to that. Like, you can go to swinging parties where, like, you know, then it's like, you know what's up. And the idea of like someone trading me for someone else sounds hot. There's a lot of hot things about it.
I would actually think, that the structure would appeal to you.
Yeah. The structure, and you're talking about like, yes, it's shitty to women to do wife swap, but being treated like property sounds hot.
Yeah. Okay, great. Like,
I want someone to trade me for someone else.
You want your boyfriend to lose you in a poker game?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Or
I'm all in, and he's all in you.
I have a 2 and a 7. Oh no. Okay, have I told you that I was at, what we knew was going to be an orgy eventually, and we started out by playing apples to apples with the group, and whoever won got to be the bottom.
Oh God. That's great.
I won.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Somehow that turned up my game a little bit. Would you consider this?
Yes, I would.
Really? This
Yeah.
surprises me.
So it's a key party I would have huge problems with unless I like already knew who was going to be there and had like feelings about whether I would be able to go through it with them or not.
Mhm.
But in a like couple on couple kind of a scenario where it's going to be swapsies or some variation on that, yeah, absolutely. In fact,
But you'd have
and sign me up. That's all I was going to say.
well, for you then, how I feel like there'd be that balance between you kind of have to know them, but not know them too well that you're like
Yep.
really good friends with them.
Yep.
That's the one part that I would think.
Yep, absolutely. There would be a window of opportunity there, hanging out with another couple, and as long as we started that kind of an arrangement before that window had closed, I think it would be. It would work for me.
Yeah, I mean, like that seems like what would be conducive about like if there is a gay swingers app or gay swingers parties of like you don't know them but you know everyone's down and you can like the off premise like idea, you can go and meet people and hang out and get to know people, which seems like I don't need to know them. That
Yeah.
doesn't need to be a step for me.
Yeah. There's also a scoping thing there too, right? Like I would have to work up to orgy. That's for damn sure. Like the thought terrifies me. And having done a 3-way a couple of times with Trevor, that was fun and I enjoyed that. And that encourages me that maybe like the next baby step would be with another couple, right?
Yeah.
But that's very different than a key party or an orgy or whatever.
Yeah.
And but does definitely provides like an opportunity. The community part provides an opportunity to make a connection and get to know them, which is a big key factor to my sex life being good for me.
Yeah. Man, now that maybe swinger is perfect for you.
It might be. We might have found our thing that we have in common, Kyle.
Yeah, like it can be the same swinger continuum, but I'm more on the like trade me and you're on the like let's get to know each other.
Yeah. So great. So did we do it?
I think as best that us as two gay men talking about swingers could.
Yeah. All right. Well,
this was your fault, Kelsey.
Yeah. Hope we did it.
Hope we did it.
So should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break and bang other people while we're on a break.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We have swung and now we're back.
We swang.
We swanged. We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
We are on so many social medias at Gayish Podcast, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails at 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com and no rates apply.
Yeah. And our post office
P.O.
box is P.O. Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109. You got to put a stamp on it.
Regular postage rates apply.
Yep. A couple of quick programming notes. We were on the August 3rd episode of We Read Movies, where we talked about the fucking horrible movie, Eating Out 2 Sloppy Seconds.
Well, you can't say that because the guy that wrote that like commented on the post that I made about that on Twitter. Like he listened to it.
Well, the writing was good. Okay.
Sorry, I was supposed to go on. Yes, so good.
And also, we were on the July 28th episode of the podcast, Kinky Cocktail Hour.
Yeah, we're all over the place. You cannot avoid us if you listen to any kind of podcast.
That's right.
Sorry.
But that's and finally, we received an email that we made it to the final round of the podcast awards this year. So thanks, everybody. Now it's time for the judges to weigh in, which if you were part of the nomination process, you might have gotten an email that says you're a judge. So don't fuck that up and vote for us. Thanks, assholes. Bye.
Vote for whoever you think is the best, and we'll support you. I will. Mike might not. Okay.
Vote for us, or I'll put your body in the back of my e-bussy and take it to undisclosed location.
You can't say that because you just turned several people on. So
okay, well, great.
Gayest and Straightest?
Let's do our Gayest and Straightest.
Okay, I'll go first. My gayest thing is I have a new favorite gay porn star. His name is Ben Bateman, and I love him, and he's perfect, and everything about him.
Okay, I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna look him up and judge you right now.
Don't worry, you'll judge me very well.
Ben Bateman?
Yeah.
Is he Ben Bateman Media?
I don't think he's a media company.
Okay, because I see nobody I want to fuck on that one. I'll find him later. Continue, okay. Kyle.
I'm gonna look for him too. And my straightest is I have another gay dude in my hallway, and one of my friends happened to be over at his place, and he texted me, was like, "Are you at your home, like on the same floor?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I like went out into the hallway and we were talking a little bit, and I was like, "Do you want to come inside?" We socially distanced, all that good stuff, and it was just very quickly. But like, that's one of the few times where I said to another gay man, "Do you want to come inside?" and had no intention of having sex. We did not bang. We actually talked, and then he left. So,
oh, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Sure.
So the straightest thing about me this week was running out of gas on the grill upstairs on my rooftop and changing the propane tank. Just like, yeah, that's Totes mask, right?
Yeah, it's a propane in the butt.
Yep. But I changed the propane tank on the grill, and then we continued to cook the meat. The gayest thing about me this week, so I had a couple of neighbors and a couple of friends at that barbecue, and sitting socially distanced around the table. Anyway, one of us, and I forget who, mentioned that so-and-so has really good cum gutters. And the two straight girls that were there looked at each other, baffled, looked at us and said, "He has good what?" And my friend who's gay, we locked eyes and had this, like, we had a whole conversation in gay without saying a word to each other. It was, oh my God, these straight girls don't know what cum gutters are. We know what cum gutters are. Isn't that fantastic? Should we tell them or not? And like, didn't say a word, but had that total exchange with each other with just a glance. It was fantastic.
I love that.
Yeah. A listener's Gayest and Straightest. So this one comes to us from Ryan D on our Discord server. Said, straightest, tore it up at my autocross race today. And then I think this is his gayest thing. He had to explain what that is just in case we don't know. A timed trail race around a bunch of cones in a big parking lot.
I was going to ask what that is. I have had no idea.
Okay. Well, yeah, I agree. That's very, very straight. Good job on that, Ryan. He said his gayest was he blasted the Chromatica album on the way home and sang every song. And then he did the fingernail painting emoji.
911 is the best record on that album.
So that's it.
That's it.
A special thank you to, I just forgot her name. Fuck.
So, thank you to Kelsey for requesting this topic. Hope we did it good enough.
Indeed. Thank you to Alan Cumming for having the funnest last name to spell today.
And thank you to the general concept of Nick Jonas.
Indeed. That's it. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. Swing, swing, swing from the sun. Those are the only words I know.